Welcome to the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums, where we bring you all the exciting action of the Jaguar football program. It's brought to you by Coca-Cola, the Louisiana Lottery, Communities of Color Network, Tobacco-Free Living, The Grind Inside Quarters, and Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Hello and welcome to the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums, where we come to you each week inside Quarters at The Grind, where you can come in, catch a little SU football talk, have some great food, some beverages, and just basically have some good fellowship. Coach, open date meant recruiting was the root of the weekend. You and your guys got out far and wide looking at future potential Jaguars. Tell us who you saw. Tell us did you like what you seen?
Yeah, got a chance to go visit a couple of games, really got a chance to get in that New Orleans area, a place that's got a lot of talent this year. We got a chance to watch Ed Carr take on Warren Easton. That was a good football game, came down to the wire. Guys did a really good job competing in that football game. Just getting out, seeing some other guys, just getting the coaches on the road. A lot of them was at the Mississippi junior colleges, just really trying to put together a nice class. It's going to be a small class. Again, we only have about 10 seniors, so a lot of our guys are coming back. But really, we're just trying to looking for those trenches, always looking for offensive alignment, defensive alignment, and really just trying to make sure that we find that difference maker at tight end as well. But overall, I thought the guys did a good job going out on the road, bringing back some names that we got to evaluate this week.
Well, you answered one of my next questions was, what did you see are the biggest needs? And you just said that. Do you have any commitments for 2019 yet? Any folks who already said, I'm coming to Southern?
Yeah, we have some guys that have, verbally committed to us, and, we're not able to mention those guys' names until they sign, but we do have some guys that have committed to us, and we're excited about that. This recruiting process usually going to come down to the wire. We got the early signing day coming up in December, so hopefully we can get some guys signed in, and then we always have that first Wednesday in February where we have a second signing day. But we think we'll be able to put a class together. No need to be in a hurry. If we don't get what we need on signing day, it's always some guys that come available late, so we're just going to take our time and make sure we get the right pieces of the puzzle going forward for this recruiting class.
Well, Coach, as we normally do on our open dates, we put together a highlight package of offense and defensive plays. So we're going to jump into those offensive plays from the last game since our last open date. And here the Jaguars are on the move. Looks like Ladarius Skelton using his feet at Prairie View. He had a great game at that stadium, Coach.
What a way to start the month of October. We made a quarterback change. Really going into a hostile environment, no one picked you to win, and just the way the guys played. They played emotional football, they played with a chip on their shoulder, and they really played like that the month of October, and it started with our quarterback change, Ladarius Skelton.
Coach, he seems to have gotten a better command of the offense and seems to be really sure of where his offensive players are supposed to be.
Yeah, and we're tailoring it to fit him. We're calling plays and we're implementing plays that go with his skill set. And I just think that's creativity. Sometimes it's not about what we do, it's about how we do it and how we do it with the players that we have. Sometimes you got to make some changes and make some adjustments, and I think our offensive staff has done a great job of calling plays to fit the signal caller that we have back there.
Watching Kendall Catalon kind of be the leader of the receiver corps, really have been impressed with Trey Smith and Hunter Register. They've had a great year. Cameron Mackey at the wide receiver position.
Well, you're right. You called out some names of some guys that's really been great for us on defense. On offense, and that's those wide receivers. When you talk about Trey Smith, Kendall Catalon, Hunter Register, and Mackey, those are guys that we call playmakers, and we try to create ways to get the ball in their hands.
Coach, using a quarterback like Ladarius Skelton, who really has a gift with his feet, does it cause conflict with the running backs because they're not getting the ball as much as they would with a passing quarterback?
Well, I think we got a football team that's We're not individual based. We're about winning, and how we go about winning each week is going to be different. We know going down the stretch, our running backs are going to be an important part of our offense, but it does give us the numbers in the running game when we have a quarterback that can run. So you can try to take our receivers away and load the box up. If you load the box up, we can throw the ball. If you try to take the receivers away, we can run the ball, and that quarterback gives us an added dimension.
I'll tell you what, Coach, your running backs have really performed admirably this year. Devon Ben has carried the load, but I thought Mims has done a great job when he's gotten in, and the young transfer from
Carlos Stevens
has also performed well when he got some time, Coach.
Well, you're right. I think going down the stretch, you're going to see us utilize those guys in different packages in different ways, because the whole thing is about getting explosive guys to football, and we've had bye weeks to be able to come up with some ways to try to get these guys to football. You see here, Shaquille Thomas, he's another one of those running backs that are very explosive. We just got to find a way to get the ball in his hands.
Coach, on the defensive side, you got to be really pleased with what you're getting from those guys. When we come back, we're going to show some defensive plays. So stay with us on the Jaguar Football Show as we come back and show you some of the biggest defensive plays from our last open day.
Sir, news from the lottery!
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Are you looking for some great food and to have a great time? Well, come eat, drink, play, and win at Quarters. We've got $7.99 lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or you can kick back after work with happy hour from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Then reverse happy hour from 9 p.m. to closing. Bowl, play laser tag, and arcade games and eat some of the best food in Baton Rouge 7 days a week. Only at Quarters. Sir, news from the lottery!
Welcome back to the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums, where we come to you each week from inside the grind, located in the Quarters, located at the corner of Sherwood Forest and Coursey Boulevard. We shoot in the neighborhood of 1230. Come out, talk a little SU football with us. Coach, recruitment today is so much more than just saying, I got a good team I want you to come play for. I think today's players are looking at dorm rooms, weight rooms. They're looking at other opportunities that they have, like game rooms and all the other extra stuff that I think that players are looking for outside of football. What does Southern have in comparison to other SWAC schools to make a kid say, I want to go to Southern instead of this school or that school in the SWAC? Where are we in the arms race of other stuff outside of the football locker room?
Well, a lot of that stuff you're talking about is facilities, and that's the biggest thing, is just being able to have the right facilities in place that are going to attract young men. The biggest thing we sell is the people of Southern University and the opportunity, and a lot of players want to play, and we sell that. And there's no better place to come and get a degree because the people at Southern University makes it a place that you can call home. And what we try to do is devise a recruiting plan that fits the motto that we're trying to sell. And when we do that, we got an opportunity to go in anybody's living room and sell Southern University. What we try to do is be honest and upfront with individuals. We don't sugarcoat it. We just tell them what we have and what we're about. But we also talk to them about where we're going and how we would like for them to be a part of it.
Coach, last question about recruiting. How much does promising a kid playing time go into recruiting today? I'm sure many coaches do it. It's not a good position to promise a kid playing time, but I'm sure plenty of coaches say, if you come here, you'll start or you'll get playing time. How much do you and your staff do it, or do you not get into that?
No, what we talk about is opportunities, that we try to give guys an opportunity. Southern University is going to give you a platform to succeed in the classroom and on the field, and that's what it's all about. What you do with it is solely up to you, and I think guys see that when they get there, from our scholarship guys to our walk-on guys. It's about giving guys an opportunity, and we're excited about the program that we have and where it's going and what it's accomplished. But we know that recruiting is a big part of being able to sustain that consistency that it takes to be great.
Well, let's jump into the defensive highlight package from the last couple of games, Coach, and talk about definitely an important part of the game, the defensive side of it. And Coach, what I've been really pleased with is the play of your secondary. Talk about them. There you go. There's an interception right there. DeMario Houston, Montavious Gaines, those young men back there in the secondary have really had a good season for the Jaguars thus far with 2 games to play.
You're correct. I think it's a matter of, you go from a year ago, you had the household names that have been a part of the program for such a long time. And this year is about new guys stepping up and writing stories that people are going to be talking about them in the future. So you get a DeMario Houston, who's a senior, that's having an outstanding season. Montavious Gaines, who's a junior, he'll be back. And you're just seeing these guys just play well together. It's really no individuals on this team, and it's fun to coach. It's fun to watch guys who does not have that household name, but there's one name on there that we all play for, and they're giving great effort for, and that's Southern University, and it's fun to watch. Moving
up into the defense, you got to be happy with the effort guys like Lumpkins have given you, some of those guys at linebacker, causing ruckus, causing chaos, tipping balls. One game we had 3 tipped balls that turned into interceptions. We had a 5 interception game that game. All that really plays into giving the ball back to the offense and taking another team's offense off the field.
Anytime you win that turnover battle, that's one of the key stats I think I always talk about when we talk about winning a football game, is usually that turnover margin. And I think our defense has done a great job of that here lately. Since we got into October, they've really been playing really well. And offensively, the biggest thing is taking those turnovers and turning them into points. And as we get into November, I think that's going to be a key component of our success, taking care of the ball offensively and taking it away defensively.
Coach, as we get ready for a UAPB this weekend and in 3 weeks, Grambling, we both know that they're going to want to run that football. And your defensive line has really been playing lights out. I got to give it to those guys. They've been blocking up, clogging up holes, clogging up lanes, and it gives the safeties and linebackers an opportunity to come up and make some plays. And that's exactly what you want out of your defensive line, right?
Well, exactly. I think it's a group of guys that have really worked hard, and they've gotten better all year and must continue to get better. You got a chance for some guys to really come into their own. We're only having one senior in that bunch right now. Man, the future is bright for us at that position, and we continue to sign guys there. That's why this next recruiting class is going to be important, that we get the right pieces of the puzzle, because we got so many guys coming back to improve on our depth and also to give us that punch going forward.
Well, there you see the defense doing what they do best, having a good time, flying around, hitting people, and turning the ball over. Coach, you got to wrap up this segment talking about your special teams. They just came right on cue. Yeah. Great hit right there on a kickoff, and you got a couple of returns this year on punt and kickoff. That's got to be pleasing to you to know that your special teams have made a difference for you all year.
Well, you're right. I think as we continue to get better there, The kicking game has been good. The coverage game has been good. Now, can we take the next step and become great? Field goals, we've been a little up and down. We missed some, but I think we got two really good field goal kickers in Fontenot and Barajas. If those guys can just become consistent in that part of our game, our special teams unit could really take a jump in the month of November, and we're going to need them guys to play lights out.
All right, well, there you have it from the coach. When we come back, next segment, we're going to talk about the open week players of the week, guys who, because there was no game, they do it with leadership and making good decisions, as well as we'll take a little look around the SWAC and see exactly where everybody sits and stands in the SWAC conference. So stay with us on the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums.
Diseases from smoking kill more African Americans each year than car crashes, AIDS, and murders combined. In the U.S., about 1 in 5 African American adults smoke cigarettes. It's estimated that each cigarette you smoke shortens your life by 7 minutes. That's 7 minutes less to spend time with people you love doing what you love each time you smoke a cigarette. Is it worth it? Smoking affects us all.
Hi, I'm Coach Dawson Odums, and if you're looking for a great new or used car, Jerry Lane Chevrolet invites you to come and check them out. Whatever your taste in vehicle is, they got a great lineup to fit your style, and most importantly, your budget. Personally, they're taking care of me with this great truck. I'm a big guy, and this a big truck. It's roomy and comfortable, and it has to get up and go when I need to get up and go. So remember, whatever your taste in vehicles, come visit us at Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Go Jags!
Hello and welcome back to the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums. Each week in this segment, we have the Alpha Media Players of the Week. Of course, we had an open date, but still, football operations still go on, and practice goes on, class goes on, and so you still have football activities, and with that, you still have the Alpha Media Players of the Week. Coach, who are our Alpha Media Players of the Week in leadership and making good decisions this week?
Well, on offense, it's a guy that's been playing tight ends for that's really stepping up, and we're going to need him to step up in the month of November. That's Jeremiah Houston, the tight end for us. Defensively, a guy that I think, haven't heard much about him, but he's coming to his own. Last game out, he really played well. He's been a backup, but you can see that the senior, Elijah Allen, is really starting to come into his own, and we're going to need him to play well down the stretch. He'll be our defensive player of the week. In special teams, our snapper has been really, really good. Bo Badon has been doing a great job for us, and he's going to continue to get better as a true freshman. And those are our Alpha Media Plays of the Week.
Thank you, Coach. Of course, this week we normally also have the Coca-Cola player interview. Since we had no game, we have no interviews. Coach, let's go around the SWAC for a little bit and talk about exactly where we all stand in the standings and where this thing is going as far as the championship comes in a couple of 3-4 weeks. On the east side of the ledger, Alcorn State is atop at 5-1. Alabama A&M is next at 4-2. J-State at 3-2. Alabama State at 2-2. And Mississippi Valley State at 1-4. How do you see the East playing out? I think Alcorn still has a game with Jackson State and Alabama State. Two good games for them to have to play.
Well, I do know that that last game will be against Jackson State, and I know that everybody have an eye on it because I think Jackson State's a team you're going to have to watch out for. They made a coaching change. Coach Hendricks has always done a good job. He's been around for a long time and just a great guy. But it's Alcorn State's to lose. I think they understand they're in the driver's seat, and, you know, you got to play some football down the stretch. But at the end of the day, Alabama State has already beaten Alcorn State, and I think what's left for Alcorn is Jackson. They're sitting at 7-3 right now with one conference game remaining, and Alabama State and Jackson got to get some help, and I think they play each other maybe this week. So there's still some football left to be played, but if Jackson State went out, they could very well represent that side, but Alcorn's in the driver's seat.
Let's get that graphic back up so we can show the folks the western side of the ledger. On the west, Southern sits in at 4-1, Grambling 4-2, Prairie View 2-3, Texas Southern 1-4, and UAPB 0-5. Right now, it looks like we're in the driver's seat in the West, Coach.
Well, you know, you control your own destiny, and it's all about taking care of UAPB this weekend, and that's where all our focus is. And we've been in this predicament, seems like so many times since I've been here as the head coach. And you know, like I tell them, it's all in this timing. You know, we'll get whatever we deserve, but you got to take it one day at a time. And our focus is on UAPB, and we understand it's a lot of football left to be played, but you have no chance if you don't keep winning, and that's the bottom line. And I think if you do that, everything else will take care of itself.
Coach Odums, let's talk about scenarios. Right now, if we win out, Alcorn State wins out, it's a championship game. Would it be at Alcorn State or would it be at Southern? Do you know? Because the championship game is played at the school with the best record in the conference. Is that correct?
Yes, best conference record, and I think since they beat us head-to-head, it would be held at Alcorn. And, you know, that's why we need to take care of business, because anything can happen down the stretch. And, man, you want to talk about some excitement and an atmosphere to be able to have that in Baton Rouge. I think it'll be special, and don't know if it's ever happened, but, man, you would love to play that game right here in Baton Rouge if you could get it here. But if not, just getting to that game would be a plus, and wherever you got to go, you got to play football.
Willie Scott and I were talking about that right before the show, you know, the excitement that would bring to Baton Rouge if the championship game was actually held on the Bluff. When we come back, we're going to look ahead to this weekend's game against the UAPB Golden Lions on the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums. Stay with us.
Sir, news from the lottery!
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Are you looking for some great food and to have a great time? Well, come eat, drink, play, and win at Quarters. We've got $7.99 lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or you can kick back after work with happy hour from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Then reverse happy hour from 9 p.m. to closing. Bowl, play laser tag and arcade games, and eat some of the best food in Baton Rouge 7 days a week. Only at Quarters.
Sir, news from the lottery!
Welcome back to the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums. Of course, we come to you each week from Quarters at the Grind. Come out about 12:30, have some lunch with us, and talk a little SU football. Coach, UAPB pays a visit to A.W. Mumford for our last home game of the season. They're coming off of a 45-14 loss to Alabama A&M this past weekend. They sit at 1-8 on the season, 0-5 in the conference. And to me, that's a dangerous football team because they're looking for a win in the daytime with a flashlight. And they're coming to Southern trying to get that win.
Well, you're correct. And they're a good football team. They're probably one of the better teams you'll see with that record. But at the end of the day, offensively, they got a freshman quarterback that's been playing really well. But it starts with their running back and their wide receiver. They're the two playmakers, and when the ball's in their hand, they have the ability to go the distance. And They're not complicated, but they do a lot of formations and shifts and motions on offense. So defensively, we have to be locked in and be ready to execute at a high rate. Defensively is where they've had their problems, but you saw them the last game, they played really well. I think the halftime score was 14-0. They had a couple turnovers that really got the game, out of reach. But at the end of the day, they played with great effort, and the coach is the first-year coach over there. He's doing an outstanding job, and we know it's going to be a good football game, and we got to be ready to play. And if we take care of business and play like we're capable of, everything should be okay.
Coach, UAPB historically has been a great running football program. They really like to run the ball. They usually have two quality running backs coming at you. And, we've done well against the run this year. Would you prefer them to come in running, or would you prefer to see them throwing it more?
Well, they're balanced. They go come in and they like to get the ball to number 2, their running back. He does an outstanding job of finding creases, but they can throw it. And, we just got to play well and execute and play with great energy and effort. And if we do that, I really like our chances in this football game.
Well, good luck this weekend with UAB, Coach, UAPB. When we come back, we're going to wrap up this week's edition of the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums.
Diseases from smoking kill more African Americans each year than car crashes, AIDS, and murders combined. In the U.S., about 1 in 5 African American adults smoke cigarettes. It's estimated that each cigarette you smoke shortens your life by 7 minutes. That's 7 minutes less to spend time with people you love doing what you love. Each time you smoke a cigarette, is it worth it? Smoking affects us all.
Hi, I'm Coach Dawson Odums, and if you're looking for a great new or used car, Jerry Lane Chevrolet invites you to come and check them out. Whatever your taste in vehicle is, they got a great lineup to fit your style, and most importantly, your budget. Personally, they're taking care of me with this great truck. I'm a big guy, and this a big truck. It's roomy and comfortable, and it has to get up and go when I need to get up and go. So remember, whatever your taste in vehicles, come visit us at Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Go Jags!
Welcome back to the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Dawson Odums. Coach, one of the things that I've been noticing on social media and around Southern sites is this weekend is called Community Day.
Yeah.
They've invited a lot of the community people out, a lot of schools out. Of course, we want to pack out A.W. Mumford Stadium. So with that, Baton Rouge community, surrounding community, come out and support the Jaguars. They're in the hunt for the SWAC championship, and they need your support. Of course, the SU ticket office number is 225-771-3171. Call Aretha and the ladies in tickets and buy some tickets and come out. Hopefully the weather will be great, and it'll be a good time for some SU football. Coach, Community Day, do you invite high school coaches out on that day?
Well, I think it's a national recruiting day for our university, so a lot of high schools are invited to come out and participate in Community Day.
Well, there you have it. We will see you next week.
Go Jags!